There is a reason your body hesitates at the mouth of a cave. Before your mind catches up, before you can name what you're feeling, something older than thought pulls at the base of your spine and whispers, "Don't." That whisper is not fear, it is inheritance. Millions of years of ancestors passed it down to you. The ones who lived long enough to reproduce were the ones who understood, on a level deeper than language, that the dark places in the earth are not empty. They are inhabited. And most of what inhabits them was never meant to be seen by human eyes. We tell ourselves that caves are hollow, silent tunnels of stone leading nowhere, cold, still, lifeless. It is a comforting lie, because the truth is that caves are teeming with life. But the further you travel from the entrance, the less that life resembles anything you have a word for. Eyes vanish, skin turns colorless, limbs stretch into shapes that look almost, but not quite, like they were designed by evolution, as if something else did the designing, as if the darkness itself had preferences. This is the story of what happens to living things when you take away the sun forever. Near the entrance, everything still makes sense. Sunlight spills a few meters inside. The air still carries the smell of the outside world. Bats hang in familiar clusters. Barn owls roost in the shadows. Cave crickets hop across the walls, and in the colder months, bears push deeper in to sleep through winter. These animals are recognizable. They have names in every language. They belong to the surface and merely visit the dark. Biologists call them troglodytes, cave guests. Cut off their exit, and they die within days. Enjoy these creatures. They are the last familiar faces you will see, because 50 meters in, something changes. The daylight thins to a pale bruise behind you, then disappears entirely. The temperature locks itself into a single value. Caves hold whatever the average yearly temperature is above them, unchanging for centuries. Wind stops, seasons stop. Time, in any meaningful sense, stops, and the animals begin to look wrong. In this in-between zone, the twilight belt where surface and cave overlap, you find creatures that seem to be losing themselves. Take the cave salamander of the Appalachian karst systems. It still has eyes, technically. It still has color, faintly. But both are fading. It moves with a strange, deliberate slowness, as though it has forgotten why speed ever mattered. It is no longer a surface animal. It is not yet fully a creature of the deep. It is stranded between two worlds, and that in-between quality gives it a face that unsettles people who look at it too long, a face that is almost right and therefore entirely wrong. Push further into the underground rivers of Slovenia and Croatia, and you meet the Olm, pale as bone, nearly translucent, with the ghosts of eyes buried beneath skin that grew over them because vision became irrelevant. The Olm can live for a full century. It can go 10 years without eating. It moves so little that observers have mistaken living specimens for dead ones. It waits. For what? No one is entirely sure. Some things are patient in a way that mammals like us cannot comprehend. Now step past the twilight, into what cave biologists call the dark zone, a place where light has never touched and never will. This is not the darkness of a closed room or a moonless night. Those are temporary darknesses waiting to be interrupted. The dark zone is permanent, absolute, and older than the human species. And in this absence, evolution does something extraordinary. It begins to strip its creations down. Because evolution does not preserve what is useless. It dismantles it. The Texas blind salamander has no eyes at all. Where eyes should be, smooth skin has grown across the sockets. Its body is so translucent you can see its blood moving beneath the surface. It hunts by feeling the water shift around its prey, a sensory ability so refined that it detects a moving crustacean from meters away in absolute blackness. It has never known light. The concept does not exist in its nervous system. It is not primitive. It is a precision instrument built for an environment where sight would be dead weight. The Mexican blind cavefish tells the same story, but with an unsettling twist. Two populations of the same species exist, one at the surface, with normal eyes, and one deep in the caves, completely eyeless. When scientists breed them together, the offspring sometimes grow half eyes, malformed, non-functional, sightless organs pushing outward from a genetic memory the cave lineage has not yet finished erasing. Eyes that exist only as echoes of eyes. That image stays with you. Deeper still, there are cave systems on this planet so isolated, sealed off by geology, fed only by water dripping through rock over centuries, that the animals inside them have not touched the surface world for 5 to 7 million years. Their ancestors were underground before the first humans stood upright, before mammals inherited the planet. What 5 million years of uninterrupted darkness does to a body is difficult to describe without sounding fantastical. Consider the cave centipede. In deep systems across Europe and Asia, this creature has grown legs so long, so disproportionate, that its body looks like a mistake. A small central mass surrounded by a starburst of impossibly long limbs reaching outward in every direction. Every extra millimeter is another millimeter of vibration detection, another inch of awareness in a world where awareness is the only currency. It does not scurry. It flows. Cameras struggle to render its movement properly because there are too many limbs moving too smoothly at once. Then there is Leptodyrus hokenwort, the cave beetle discovered in Slovenia in 1831, the first animal ever formally described as a true cave creature. Its neck stretches. Its wing cases have fused into a single armored dome. Its antennae are longer than its own body, sweeping the black air for chemical whispers from other creatures. It moves as though it has all the time in the world. Because it does. In the stable, changeless temperature of deep caves, life slows down. Some cave crayfish are estimated to live for 175 years. Nothing hurries them. Nothing hunts them from above. There are no seasons pressing them to reproduce. No droughts, no winters, just the eternal drip of water on stone and the endless waiting. But the deepest strangeness lives in the water. Along coasts where the earth is riddled with limestone, the Yucatan, the Canary Islands, the drowned caves of Croatia, there exist environments unlike anything on the planet's surface. Anchialine caves, flooded systems that connect to the ocean but only through hidden fractures in the rock. The water inside them is layered. Fresh water floating over salt water, pushed and pulled by tides that have never touched sunlight. Inside these caves lives a creature called the Remipede. Blind, colorless, many-legged, it resembles a centipede that decided to become a shrimp, or perhaps the other way around. It is the only known venomous crustacean on Earth. It injects digestive enzymes into its prey and drinks what remains once the body has liquefied from the inside. Its closest genetic relatives are insects. It has been sealed inside these underwater caves for so long that its DNA reads like a document from a lost geological era. Studying one is like opening a locked room that has been sealed for 50 million years and finding, inside that room, something alive and venomous and waiting. Here is where our comparison to the deep sea breaks apart. The ocean can be filmed. Even the Hadal trenches, 7 miles down, where nothing human can survive, have been visited by cameras. We have footage, we have specimens, we have proof. The deepest caves offer no such comfort. Many of the largest cave systems on the planet are partially or entirely flooded. To reach them requires cave diving, statistically one of the most lethal activities a human being can attempt. And even the most experienced cave divers in the world can only go so far before the passages narrow, or the depths exceed the physics of survival, or the distance from an air source becomes longer than any breath can carry. In 2009, one of the most skilled cave divers in history, David Shaw, died attempting to recover a body from a flooded South African cave called Bushman's Hole. He was 270 meters down. The cave was deeper. Beyond that point, no human has ever been. No camera has ever recorded. No light has ever reached. And yet, we know something is there. We know because water seeps out of these sealed systems, and that water carries DNA fragments of biological material from organisms no human has ever laid eyes on, species we have not named, bodies we have not seen, lives we cannot describe. We have their genetic signatures. We do not have them. We do not know how large they are. We do not know how many there are. We do not know what they look like. We only know they are alive. The deep ocean has its crushing pressure. The Arctic has its silent predators. The desert has its heat and its bones. The cave has something different. The cave has time. Uninterrupted, lightless, pressureless time. Millions upon millions of years in which evolution has done nothing but sharpen its creations for the dark. No color, no eyes, no memory of the surface. Bodies drifted so far from their ancestors that only the DNA remembers, and somewhere, beyond every passage that has ever been mapped, beyond every place a diver has ever survived, in flooded rooms of stone that have been sealed since before the first mammal walked the earth, there are creatures that carry 50 million years of darkness inside them, and they are waiting. For what? No one knows. But that hesitation you felt at the mouth of the cave, the shiver, the stillness, the ancient reluctance to step inside, that was not weakness. That was your body remembering something your mind has forgotten. The darkness has teeth. We simply haven't found all of them yet.